Hi guys, and happy Thursday. It is February 23rd. I do have a lot to update and I will make some clips and stuff, but I have taken a couple more days of hiatus because I got a couple of things done over the weekend, not enough to write home about, and I started my pickle juice sew along. That's not what it's called. That's the name of the line that my focal fabric is from. It's called the Pocket Full of Posies. And I was making really good headway, and then I realized that I messed something up, not on this block. This is the main center block. I'll show you in the next clip, but I have to get ready really fast to go over to Little Split Peas because the baby quilt owner is stopping by to pay me and pick out designs and stuff with Paige for the baby quilt. So super exciting. But yeah, I finished it. Make sure it's not upside down. I think this is right side up, but majority of it is this really pretty like black gray chambray from Moda. But here is the center. It just has, these aren't grunges. I don't remember exactly what they were called. Where's the extra fabric? Hold on. This one, oh, it's Wyndham Fabrics, and it is from the palette line. And so they're not perfect solids. You can see they have like some depth and dimension and different like tones in them. You can see it more in the blue and the yellow on camera. In person, you can kind of see the red, but it's not as pronounced. And there are like some little like glue marks, but those will come off in washing because the glue pens are water soluble. But anyways, so the background fabric that complements it is by Ruby Star. It's the Added Up in natural with black. But yeah, I think it came out so good. So here is the Steelers baby quilt. It's a custom quilt. Yeah. I finished one practice, and then I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm so happy that I did. I think it came out really, really good. That one little seam is like a millimeter off, but you know what? Once it's quilted and it's washed and it puffs up in different places, you won't even notice. And honestly, that's just me being nitpicky because my face is right next to it. It smells like my Flatter. So Flatter has a bunch of different scents, and I use the scent Lacy. It's like my favorite. But anyways, yeah. So there is the Steelers logo, baby quilt. But she wants to pick it up. Well, we're meeting over at Paige's, who's also quilting it. So I'm meeting her over there. And then she's going to be able to pay for her backing and her binding fabric. And I don't know if Paige makes you put down a deposit or pay in advance for quilting. I'm not really sure. So anyway, she's going to do all that and pick out a quilting pattern, which I know that Paige showed her a football quilting pattern. So she might do a football quilting pattern per like our conversation last time. But I'm going to take my notes about it just because we wrote down the backing that she wanted already. And yeah, so anyways, I'm really excited and also excited to get paid. She's paying in cash, which is really fun, especially for like cash stuffing. It's so much better. But yeah, so I guess really fast because I do need to go get ready so we can head over there. This is the center block of the Pocket Full of Posies sew along, and I'll tell you where I messed up. So there's 5 blocks in the quilt that look like this. However, the other 4, these 2 colors are switched, which that's not where I messed up. Where I messed up is where I messed up is, and part of it is because like I just didn't realize it, to be quite honest. But these two of the flying geese have a different color. So it's really not that bad. I have some extra fabrics. I've already made all of my flying geese, and some of them I've already put to kind of like the inner little petal block. But some of them I haven't done that with yet, and I haven't started putting any of the blocks together other than that one. So all I have to do, I think I only have to redo, let's see. I think I only have to redo a few of them. Yeah, because there's 8 total units, and the method that we use for making flying geese in this makes 4. So I only need to redo 2 initial sets, and it'll give me all 8 that I need. So I'm just going to cut out the fabric. It's 2 big squares of green. It'll be 2 squares of the background fabric and 2 squares of the terrazzo fabric is what it needs to be. And then it'll make the 2 per corner square. And the other ones, these extra flying geese, I will just, did I actually stop like exactly at 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. No, oh my gosh, I stopped with 9 left. So, these, I think it'd be really fun. I could like put these together and make like a tote bag or something out of them. So it's not like these are going to go to waste. I can do something with these, or because I don't know what I want my backing to be, I can put these together and I can actually like put a really cool like arrow kind of looking thing going up the back of my quilt. There's things that you can do with these. So even if you mess up, if you have leftover fabric, like I don't want to unpick this. They look fantastic. I don't want to unpick it. I would rather just reuse them in a way. So I think that's what we're going to do. The other thing that I got done this weekend was also embroidery bee. So I got my little alien guy all tacked down. So I still need to put the binding on the 2 quilts and on this guy. And then I also just need to like literally finish this. I think I'm going to do the binding also in this. This is the last of like my scraps of this. So I think I might just also do the binding, but I need to square it up. Obviously that's not a good look. So I need to chop this down. I'm probably going to cinch it in just a little bit on the top and on the sides, put the binding on it so I can whip stitch it. But I did it by hand, so you can kind of see it. I did it by hand, and I had the idea and like the thought that I might like add some quilting in some of the other areas that don't have things. It would mostly be like over here, and I just don't think I'm going to do it actually. I think I like that it's super simple, but he's all tacked down now. I just did like a running back stitch to tack it all down because this whole style is like raw edge applique. But because of some of these like, you know, sharper little edges on the stars and things, it just wouldn't have been easy to do it on my machine. So yeah, I did it by hand and I absolutely love him. So I'm still somewhat at the same place. So yeah, I need to recut some fabric for the sew along, which also, to be fair, it literally started yesterday, and this week you're only supposed to be cutting out your fabric, not even starting until next week. So I'm ahead, so that's fine. So anyways, I'm going to go get ready. I'm going to turn this guy into its owner. Lots is going on, and I keep on taking like small breaks, but this work stuff has been mentally a lot, like draining and stuff, and it's been fun and it's been good, but in the evenings, I'm just like, I just want to veg out and hang out with the cats. And so some days I do that and some days I don't, and it just is what it is. But I will definitely be doing some sewing tonight because I've been missing it. I've only taken off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday Tuesday and Wednesday to be fair. Because I worked on stuff all weekend and all Monday. So I've only taken off 2 days. So like, to be fair. But yeah, I'm definitely sewing tonight. I'm definitely sewing tomorrow. And so I will be sharing that with you guys, but I have to get there. Oh gosh, I have to be there in like 10 minutes. I will see y'all in the next clip. Hey everyone, happy Friday. So some stuff came up. I actually did not get to sew last night. So it is my lunch break and I am finally going to touch my machine. It's been too many days. So, I am going to go ahead and make the replacement 8 flying geese, that I need for this quilt. And then I can put aside all of these pieces, to finish out these blocks. I can put them aside, so that way I can get down to finishing some of the stuff that I actually need to finish. So side note, I will say though, I had enough left. I only had to cut out 2 of these and 4 of the background fabrics because I obviously already had these cut, and now it makes so much more sense because whenever I was doing those, I was like, how am I short by 2 background pieces to make the flying geese? And it's because 2 of them were supposed to be this fabric. Yeah. Read a little bit further into the instructions, Kelly, next time. Just saying. Throwing that out there. You know, like, sometimes flip ahead. I had totally forgotten that like inside diamond was a part of like the whole thing. So, and untouched like the outside blocks. It's fine. So, these were already cut, thank goodness. And because I thought that I was missing, 2 of the blocks, I already had a 5-inch strip cut, and it was enough to double up and get all 4 at one time. So I literally had to make 2 slices, and then this was super easy. I only had to make 2 slices and I got my 2. So I'm going to make these last 8 flying geese so that way I can put it all aside. And I need to cut the binding for my cousin's quilt. I need to cut the binding for my little UFO guy, and also trim him up. And then I need to cut and prep the binding for the cat commission quilt. And I should be getting the football quilt back possibly today, possibly tomorrow. I think Paige is literally going to quilt it today, which means I'll get it back. And I already have, words are really hard. I already have the binding for it. It's with me. So I just have to go and pick up the quilt, and then I can work on that. And I'm so ecstatic for both of these, honestly. So ecstatic. And so yeah, I really need to work on those. So this weekend I'm getting all the binding put on everything, and I'm going to clip it all so that way I'm going to dedicate I'm going to dedicate literally an hour at least every single day this next week to doing the binding. Like just putting on a show or putting on an audiobook and doing binding, like whip stitching it, to get the 2 commissions done. And like my cousins, I'm not going to get to see them until April. So if theirs needs to like wait a little bit because my phalanges are going to be super, super sore and tired, I think that will be fine. And then also this weekend, I really want to get the borders put on the mystery test quilt that I can't show you yet. Also this weekend, I'm going to film the quilt parade. I'm going to dismantle this entire section of the room and show you everything that is in this pile, even if it is just a thing of fabric, because I'm basically going to declutter this area. And by declutter, I mean pull everything out and reorganize it basically, but I'm going to declutter this area while also showing you everything. So you'll also see just some of the stuff that I have sitting over there as potential backings for things, but they don't have quilts yet. So why am I doing that? No clue. So lots of things are going on, but I wanted to just give you an update. So I may record through this weekend and post this maybe like Sunday night, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I may do that. And then at some point this weekend, I will record that video as well. And that's going to be a super long video, I think. So that can wait. Oh, the other thing is I have to start planning. So I have quilts that I want to make for myself, but now I have to start planning to make a little baby quilt for my cousin's wife. I'm so excited for them. They're having a little girl and they're doing like pinks, blush, and like white cream kind of like colors. And so, yeah, I'm thinking about doing the garden gate quilt again, which is the one that I did in like this super old vintage like florals as a test quilt. I'm thinking about doing that with the gate part being like a blushy kind of pink, and using different fabrics from the Riley Blake Hush Hush line and making all the insides these super sweet, beautiful, low volume prints with like little pink and like dainty detailings. I think it'll be so cute. And I'm thinking honestly of just getting muslin 108 backing, because if I get 1.5 yards of 108 backing of muslin, that will be enough for the backing, the binding, and the piecing on the top. And I want to custom dye it a custom like light pink color, and it'll automatically have kind of like that marbled look. I don't know, y'all feeling me on that? So that's kind of like my idea. And then I would only have to buy 7 of the 8 Hush Hush prints, because I have an entire bolt from the Hush Hush 1 line, the little cats with the little pink hearts. And I think it'd be so cute because they're also cat people. Like they don't have dogs, they only have cats. And so I think it'd be really sweet to like throw a little cat in there, cat print. So yeah, I already have that, and I can pull a fat quarter off of my bolt. I mean, I really need to make that deco quilt because I want to make something with that so bad. So yeah, anyways, lots going on in my head. I'm going to do this. I will check in with you after my lunch break, and then obviously tonight, because I am bound and determined this weekend I have to get some stuff done. I also have to do like some yard work because spring is starting to approach, and the yard is a hot mess because it has like that initial like things are starting to grow again, weeds everywhere, and I need to cut back the weeds so that way I can fertilize, water, and get my grass starting to come back and not the weeds. So anyways, super excited. I will check in with you in the next clip. And yeah, happy Friday. I just so much energy because I have other like plans and stuff, and anyways, I want to share them with you. I'm super excited. There's a lot going on in my brain, and yeah. So I will see you in the next update. Yes, Daniel. Yes. Yeah. Happy Saturday, everybody. I am working on the charming windmills this morning, or it's officially the afternoon. It's 12:40. Why am I saying morning? So last night I matched up all of the whites and grays with blacks from the Acroma line to work on this charming windmill quilt. So I think this is a free pattern, but I've had my copy. Literally, we were given stapled copies. Mine still has a staple in it. Weird. Whenever I went to a charm school that some of the ladies of my guild put together back in like 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. I think it was 2008. Anyways, basically what it is, it says that this quilt can be made with 5-inch or 6-inch charm squares. I don't know of any 6-inch charms, but if you cut your own fabric, you could make them 6 if you wanted. But basically you use charm packs and like a background fabric. So every full windmill block takes 4 charms, 2 from the background and 2 from the charm pack. Yeah, and you cut them kind of like in a wonky donkey kind of like way, and it makes these windmills. So I need to make 36 full blocks. So anyways, I paired up all the white and black fabrics with the lime green and I cut them all. So now I'm taking the stacks of cuts and I'm going through and cutting them. But last night I did like a full round, and I separated it. I separated it into like 3 piles roughly of 12 each. I had 1 block already made. But yeah, so I'm roughly making them in batches of 12. But yeah, so these are some of them that I have done so far. This is the Acroma line from Ruby Star, and Paige wanted to do green. And so we went with this really cool grunge. I'm not sure which grunge this is though. Let me see. Let me see if I can find you the number. I think it says 3150, but I think that's the number for all the grunges. So, unfortunately with grunges, they don't put the color name, and the fabrics do have names in grunge, so I don't know which grunge it is. But anyways, so your main pattern, this is what my old 30s windmill is made from. So your main pattern is the center of your blocks, and then with your background, you make a secondary pattern. And with my 30s quilt, the secondary pattern was with muslin. And so you have these bright, colorful pinwheels, and then I have white pinwheels or windmills, like every other. So this one, it's going to be the Acroma line. And yeah, so you pick like 2 opposing colors. In this case, the Acroma line charm packs, out of the 42, you get 21 that are like mostly black background or black heavy fabrics, and you get 21 white or gray background fabrics. Here's one of the grays. So really it's a stunning line to work with. That's another one of the grays. There you go. So just different ones. Oh, I love the floral. Okay, so, and I'm going to be making my own version of this exact quilt, actually. However, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I am doing it with bright neon colors, and the center is going to be the bright neons, and the backgrounds, I'm going to do random of the Acroma line. So that way all of the secondary pinwheels are like totally random, but it's going to look like an 80s, 90s party. So I have a couple of the fabrics already. This is one of them. I'm gonna get a second Ruby Star turquoise print. It's gonna be a floral. There's the green, which I'm gonna get so all of my neons, I need 2 prints of them. And I don't have the yellow or the oranges yet, and I don't have the other like citron or turquoise, but I'm going to get them at the start of next month, but they're going to be different. So my main centers are going to be 2 different fabrics from neon colors that are Ruby Star, and then the background is going to be the Achroma line. So I'm getting a turquoise floral for this one. I'm getting a citron floral for this one. For the pink, I am using this colorway in sugar. This is rose in sugar. And then this was from the birthday line. This is, the colorway is called lipstick icing, or the fabric is called icing. The colorway is called lipstick, but it has the rose color in there. So we're going with that. And then this is not the orange this is not the orange print that I'm going to use, but the color that I'm going to use is called Florida. And the only piece in the colorway Florida that I have is the little pipers. But so this is the orange that we're going to be using. Ooh. So there's 2 different Florida colorway prints that I want to get. But anyways, just keep in mind, that's the orange that we're going to do. And then we're going to do goldenrod because they have a brighter yellow called sunshine, but it's too close to the citron. So I'm going to use goldenrod. So ignore what's around that, but this is going to be the goldenrod color. And there's 2 different prints that I want to use of goldenrod that will also be in this quilt. And so it's going to be really, really fun and crazy. And I'm super stoked about it. But yeah, so that is what I'm currently working on. I did get the binding put on my little alien guy and he is all pinned. And then I am waiting to get the baby quilt back from Paige. She wasn't able to get it quilted yesterday. So I am waiting on that. I'm hoping that she can still get it done either today or tomorrow, but I don't know what her schedule is like. But I should have it like early week. But another goal for today and tomorrow is to get the binding put on the Texas quilt, the binding put on the cat commission quilt, and get the clips all on them so that way I can work on, if anything, I need to get the cat quilt binding done. And so my goal is going to be every day at least putting an hour towards it. Of whip stitching. So, yeah, so I want to go ahead and get the binding on there and prepped with clips. And then whenever I get the baby quilt, I'll do the same thing and I'll prep it. And my goal will be an hour a day. So yeah, I'm trying to get all these blocks done so that way I can like lay it out and get them put together. It's going to be 6 by 6, so very small because it's going to be a shop sample. So it's going to be around 42 by 42. So actually this would be perfect for like perfect baby size quilt sizing. So yeah, that is what I am currently up to. I am just going through and basically, yeah, you pair them up. And you sew them and you sew each of the 4 pieces together and then you iron them. On the first round, I will say this, on the first round, I iron the seam towards the background. Then on the second round, you put the 2 halves of the windmill together. So on the second round, I ironed the seam towards the side with the bigger black piece of the windmill. And then it doesn't matter about the final seam. but that has all of your seams going the same direction. First of all, I could show one. That has all of your seams going one direction. So for a single block, I put all of them towards the background. And then for the halves, you can see I do them towards the long piece of the darker color, which then means I can nest them for the final seam. And then the final seam, I don't care which way I press it. But because they are going to be lined up like this, right? They're then gonna go together like that. The main center seam, like the final seam, is also going the opposite direction, and you can keep on twisting it. But the final seam is usually going the opposite direction as well. So then they just all really, they nest in together really nicely. So you can see that it starts to make that secondary pattern with the background. So yeah, so mine in particular, I want the, there you go. Super exciting. So you can either, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can have it to where like all the black ones are pointing one direction, or you can flip them to where they're opposite. And it gives it like a little bit extra like motion, but you can see that second pinwheel starting to form. But anyways, I want my quilt to have a focus on the neons and the black and white to just be like kind of crazy in the background. So yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to make a baby quilt for my cousins. I'm so excited. I want to get some fabrics from the Hush Hush lines, plural, because there's a couple from the original Hush Hush line and the Hush Hush 2 line that I really like that I'm going to get for the baby quilt. So yeah, I have to order those online because none of my local shops carry any of the Hush Hush fabrics. So that'll be really fun. But yeah, I think I'm going to remake the Garden Gate quilt as a baby quilt, which is the one that I did with the vintage florals, which I think I said that in the previous clip. I just honestly cannot remember. But I'm going to, because I looked it up, I tried to find like a really nice pink to be like the in-between color, like the garden path, the gate. And everything that I found online with the shops that I found the fabrics that I want to use, they it's not going to be enough it would be a lot to then do like binding and backing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 1.5 yards of 108 muslin backing. Or I might even do just white. It doesn't have to be muslin. And I'm going to dye it myself. I'm going to dye it a custom pink color. And so that way the backing, the binding, and the front, they all match. And it can all just like tie in. It'll be super, super sweet. I think I'm going to try and quilt it myself. I'm just going to do like something super simple, like along the seams of things. I'm just going to, you know, go the diagonals and stuff and really tack it down really nicely. Yeah, I think it's going to be super, super sweet, and I cannot wait to make that for them. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a custom dye job on the fabric to do that quilt in. And so I'm either going to get muslin or I'm just going to get white, but I'm going to get wide back for it. So I already calculated it. That will give me enough, with back, like once I take out like how much I need for backing, that will give me enough for binding and for the piecework and for the backing, 1.5 yards of wide back. And muslin, I mean, that would be less than $20. Whereas to get piecework fabric, it was going to be like $13 plus binding, that's another 7, which that's already 20 right there. And then you would need like 2 yards for the other, which is another like $26. So I mean, it's gonna save me basically $25 to $30 in fabric, doing it with wide back and custom dyeing it. But then I also, it makes it even more special, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm super excited. I already like have it all planned out in my head. And I'm really super excited to make that for them. So anyways, that is what I'm working on today. I wanted to give you a little update. And then also, like I said, this weekend, I'm going to be filming the tour day quilts, and sorting that. So I have a lot to do. I also desperately need to do some yard work this weekend. It's starting to feel like spring and be spring adjacent here in Texas where I'm at. So, yeah, I need to like mow, because right now, like at my house, before grass really starts coming back up after like winter and it's been dormant, both of my yards are just covered in weeds. The sticky kind, the little flowers, all the kinds, to where the grass can't breathe enough to start coming out. So, I need to mow and cut back all the weeds, so that way in about a week I can put out fertilizer and I can start watering and my grass can start coming back for the spring and summer seasons, into the fall. And so, yeah, I really need to do that. I also need to like work on prepping for a garden if I decide to do one this year, because I think I'm a little late. I'm late to do seeds. I'm not late to like plant plants. So yeah, I need to like start figuring that out, and it would just be good to get outside. But I'm going to save a lot of that for tomorrow. So yeah, I have a to-do list for the next few days. Hey guys, and happy Sunday evening. I didn't get the bindings on and prepped on the 2 larger quilts, but that will definitely be a goal for tomorrow after work. I wanted to finish getting all of the blocks done for this sample quilt. It's gonna look so good. And I have 2 blocks left to do, because I wanted to show you just how forgiving this block is. But I needed to do a few things around the house, but I also did take the time to organize and film a quilt top parade for you. And so that will be coming out sometime this next week, but it's all organized and it looks so much better over here. I made a little bit of a mess in a couple other places, but that side of the office was kind of already a mess, but this side is looking a lot better. Stella can now sit on top of the baskets or on top of the chair and be a little bit less afraid. I have a lot of quilts that I could, if I had the money, get quilted, like tomorrow, or at least I could like drop them off tomorrow if I really wanted. I did like total it up with as many as I have like done and ready to go. It would be somewhere in the range of like $600 to like $650 to have all the ones that I already have backing for. Just backing. That's not even all the others. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit before I can have all of those quilted, plus the other ones that I really want. But anyways, I kind of like separated them into this pile. I have all the backings and all of that ready to go. I could take it to the quilter. And then I have like a high priority like quilting, but I don't have backing. So in the baskets, it's like the priority of quilting, but I don't have backing for any of those. So the top basket is the highest priority. Middle basket is like, I could do one of these. And then the lowest basket is obviously the ones that like, if they take a really long time to get quilted, I'm fine with that. And anyways, then I pulled 2 that I might want to sell. So anyways, all of that is talked about in that video, but I have 2 blocks left. So this is what I wanted to show you with this pattern being really forgiving. So the way that you square this up, you can see like every side is uneven and it kind of looks like a mess and it looks like I did it wrong, but this is literally the way this pattern works. So what you do is you take your ruler and yeah, you can do it this way. So you take your ruler, you put it on in the center. Actually, no, the other way was correct. If I turn it. Okay, so dang it. Here we go. There we go. So basically you put the ruler at the 4-inch mark in the middle, and then you trim whatever is hanging off of it, and you do that on all 4 sides from the center, and that's how you square this one up. So it slowly starts looking really good and squaring up your block for you. Whereas a lot of quilt patterns, there's a lot of quilt patterns where you don't square up the block at all. So let me just do 2 sides of this one and you can kind of like start to see what I'm talking about. So it's like starting to look like it's supposed to. And you just keep on rotating it until you've done all 4 sides. Do this last one. So yeah, that's about how much comes off on each side. A little bit of a sliver from the one side, and then a bigger chunk from like this side. So that's where the skinnier sliver was from. That's where the bigger chunk was from. And now this is like a perfectly squared up block for this pattern. So it's super simple. So again, you can see you have overage here on all 4 sides. There's overage. So it really is a pattern that you have a little bit of wiggle room with. And yeah, I do love this pattern for the fact that it is super beginner friendly. Like I said, as far as putting it together, as far as being able to trim it and make sure that your blocks before you put them all together are going to be even and really like be the best that you can get them. And it's also just so fun to see like that secondary pattern come through. I think that's just really fun as well. So yeah, this is all 36 blocks. So all 36. So the focus tomorrow is going to be to cut the binding, get the binding put on the other 2 quilts, as well as the labels. So I do need to pick out, I do need to get these cut. So for the commission quilt, she wants the block with all the cats. So I just need to cut that out really fast. And then I got to pick out what label I want to do for my cousin's quilt. I'm not really sure if, I don't think I want to do a cat one, a cat label. But so this is going to be the label for the commission quilts. And then for my cousins, let's see, I have this style, I don't think the little ladies working around the table is a good one. Warming future generations, that's super cute. Then there's these like really big ones down here. Those, either of those would be nice. So is this one with the lady just sewing with her little cat. I also really like these two. I've used this one on a quilt so far. Yeah, I've used this one on a quilt, and I've also used this one on a quilt. So let's see. Which one do I want to do? Do I want to do a cat? It's for the Texas quilt for my cousins. I think we'll do the border of spools. I think that would be really fun. I really like these. I really like these labels. So yeah, my goal tomorrow is to cut out the binding for those two quilts, get the binding sewn on with the labels, and get them tacked down, so that way I can start dedicating an hour of time a night to binding for sure. Hey everyone, it is Thursday, March 2nd, and I look like a mess. I underestimated how rough this week would be at work. I keep on saying, like, I think it's about to like kind of like level out and be less hectic, but I actually think that might be true starting next week. So just a recap of what's happened. So I'm gonna have to tweak. This is gonna be a 2-week video. And maybe I should clip this in the beginning of the video. I'm not really sure, but I'll probably forget and I won't. But this is gonna be a 2-week long video. I had all the intentions of getting up last week's video on Sunday and then getting you the quilt parade by like middle of this week. I had all the intentions in the world. And then time just got away from me. Sunday, I just didn't get around to editing, and yeah, time just literally got away from me. So then I was like, I'm gonna film more this week, and I've really almost done nothing. I got the binding on the Steelers quilt and the cat quilt, which they're across the room. So I will do a final clip tomorrow and then edit it and get it up. Like, I will get it up sometime tomorrow, Friday, March 3rd. Good Lord. How is it already March? And I'll show you guys, but it's just binding. There's clips all around it. So I have a lot of handwork to do. Yeah, I have a lot of handwork to do, and I need to finish the little alien guy by Monday for my meeting. And so there's just a lot. So I have done a few things. I just hadn't felt like in the sewing mood. So right now I'm currently chaining this quilt together. This is the shop sample of the Acroma line from Ruby Star for Paige, little split peas. So you can kind of see that secondary pattern is going to start coming through, and it's going to look so awesome. So I'm chaining this, and I have half of it chained already because it's 6x6. So I have 3 more columns to chain on, and then I can sew the rows. But I have been cutting out for scrappy spools. Also, I'm a little sad about scrappy spools at the same time. I only got a yard of this. I only got a yard of this wide back, and it's not going to be big enough for the Scrappy Spools quilt. I don't even think if I were to, no, I can't even like cut it and finagle it. I don't think. I needed 2 yards of this, and what's 24 times 4? Oh my gosh, what's 24 times 4? Is that, I don't know. Anyways, I have 4 folds in it. Or, you know, like 2 overlaps, and this is right at 24 inches. So whatever that is. So I don't know. I need to calculate that. What is 24 by 4? I don't know. Anyways, it's possible that this will be long enough, but I went back and I looked at the listing. It's sold out now, and I only bought 2 continual units, and the listing says that each unit was half a yard. But I'm not fully sure. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm kind of bummed that this might not be enough, and I might have to buy another like yard to half a yard of wide back and sew it together, so the whole back wouldn't be this. But I did decide to do Scrappy Spools in 30s prints, so I've been using all of my scraps, or not, they aren't all scraps. I've also been stealing out of my extras for my grandma's flower garden, because I have so many of the prints. So I've been, anyways, a lot of the cuts for this quilt are 2.5 or 1.5, like squares or configurations of those 2 with like other links. So I've been able to cut out almost the entire quilt with just charms, mini charms, actually, not even charms. If I had charms, that would solve a couple of issues at the moment, but I don't have any 30s print charms. I have mini charms. But I've been able to cut for the heart block, the dash block, the cabin block, the patchwork block, the 4-patch block, the checkers block, the stamp block, the stripes block, the flag block, the tulip block, and the flower block. And I pulled several pieces for the cornerstones because they're sashing in this quilt. So I pulled some pieces for the cornerstones. I need to trim those down. I think I have 5 more blocks to finish cutting out, but I'm trying to get all the blocks that need 2.5 and 1.5 cuts, because I can use mini charms for that, unless they're longer than that, because some of the cuts are like 1.5 by 5.5. So I have a couple of fat quarters left that I didn't fully chop up into bits, and I also found some like strip leftovers in my like bags of selvages and scraps. So I've been making a lot of the other size pieces out of that stuff. However, there's a couple of blocks that use 3 and 3.5 inch squares, and I don't have very many fabrics that I can make those cuts with, and I don't want all of those blocks to look super, super identical. So it may be, anyways, they're like later in the year anyways, but it may be where I get like 1 or 2 more fat quarters that I don't already have, which will be fun because then I can add them into the flower garden quilt, but just so that way I can add something else as diversity for those couple of blocks. But I'm not going to put a rush on that. I can definitely wait to do that. I do have a couple of fat quarters, you know, pinned on my Etsy as favorites that I want to get that are 30s prints, because they have like an animal that I don't have any fabric with that animal on it, and it's super cute. Like there's a little deer one and there's a little bunny one. Anyways, so I digress, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be enough. So, I need to like measure this again, because it is possible that after I bought whatever I bought, that the listing was changed because of the remaining amount. Because 24 times 4, that's 84. Maybe I did buy 2 yards of this. I don't know why I would just buy a yard of a wide back, because that doesn't even make sense. Like with a yard of a wide back, you can't even do a baby quilt without cutting it and piecing it, because baby quilts are like half a yard bigger than just a yard. Usually they're around like 40 by 40 or in that range. 45. Maybe I do have 2 yards, and maybe they just changed the listing, and so the final pieces of it, they could only do half yard. Maybe it was originally for a yard. I honestly don't remember, and like my receipt doesn't say it. It just says that I bought 2, and then if you click on the listing, because it was on Etsy, so if they changed it, it like I guess updated. I don't know. I need to measure this. If this is big enough, that would be phenomenal. It would be so amazing. But if not, I was just thinking about getting like muslin or something and just dyeing it, but the color would be very off. But yeah, I was like, I found the perfect quilt for this. Do a 30s print because it would look vintage. So anyways, so I've been working on that. And yeah, I'm going to I'm going to get this chained tonight, and knowing myself, I will probably just go ahead and finish the top, which would be really great. I could drop it off tomorrow. I could drop it off to Paige tomorrow, which would just be phenomenal, because it'd be one less thing in my house that I owe somebody else. And then tomorrow night, I have to start whip stitching the binding on one of the commission quilts. I'll probably do the cat quilt first, only because I started Amber's quilt way earlier than the baby quilt, and the baby quilt won't take me as long. And so I want to get Amber's done first. The baby's not due until May. So, the grandmother Tabitha is totally fine with me taking my time to do the binding. I mean, obviously not like the next 2.5 months, but, it won't take me that long. I just feel like I need to finish the cat quilt, because it got postponed, not because of me. I knocked it out as soon as possible. But she wanted to hold off on quilting. And so now that it's been quilted and I have it, I kind of just want to get it done for her. So probably tomorrow, if I can get this done tonight, that'd be stellar. If I can get the binding started on the cat quilt tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be out of pocket. I'm not going to get to work on anything. And then Sunday, I can work on the cat quilt and finish the little alien guy. He won't take very long. He's like over half done binding. And then the heart can wait. I'm not concerned about that. That was an example, and it is what it is. And then I can get Amber's quilt finished, and then I can do the baby quilts, and then I can get back to working on stuff that I want / need to do. Which I will probably put a quick focus on finishing up these guys and just chaining them and getting them done. But these are my Ruby Star economy blocks for the swap. We have to mail them out beginning of April. So, yeah. As soon as all these commissions are done, and even if I do like any like machine work, I'm going to get these done first. And then I'll get the binding put on the Texas quilt. I want to get the commissions done first, then I'll put binding on the Texas quilt. I want to go visit my cousins in April, but we haven't figured out a weekend yet. So, but yeah, so I want to work on the economy blocks in conjunction with the style that I'm a part of, and then I'll eventually get caught up on the spools, and then I can also design around McKenna's skeleton. So lots to do. Lots to do. I wasn't expecting like all of my commissions to pile up at the same time, but I guess that could be what happens when one of them gets postponed by the person that you're making it for. It gets pushed back, and then it falls in with other projects that you have deadlines for. So yeah, I took a couple of days off this week because work has just been crazy this week. I have had a training every single day. Tomorrow's the last day, and it's 4 hours straight, and it's an hour after, it starts an hour after we start work. And then you have to take your lunch break as soon as it's over, which isn't any of our normal lunch hours. Well, one person's, it's Brian's normal lunch hour, but it's not the rest of ours normal's lunch hour. So then you take your lunch and you get back, and then you have 3 hours left. But we had to move all of our morning meetings to the afternoons because of this training, because none of us could be in it or be in any of the meetings. So we had to move a ton of meetings to the afternoons, and like, because there's only 3 hours, they fill up very fast. So some days, you know, like this meeting was normally on Monday, it got moved to like Friday. And so it's just been super hectic. And I once again feel behind at work. Am I making it worse by being out 2 days next week? Maybe. I might be. But do I also need those 2 days? Yes. I'm going to the rodeo one of those days, and the other day I'm having a day for myself, and maybe I will sew all day. Who knows? If that is what is needed, that is what is going to happen. So just lots going on, but I'm going to get back to this, and hopefully I will do another clip before I go pass back out, because I had a headache all day today, and I slept for a fair amount of time after work. So I have a bit of like, I wouldn't say energy, but I am awake. However you want to take that. And so, so yeah, I'm going to try and get this done before I go back to sleep. And, yeah, I'm very glad tomorrow is Friday. Saturday is going to be rough. I think I've mentioned it. But I have to go back home for, it's not really a funeral, but they're doing like a visitation type thing. And then everybody's going to go back, or not everybody, but some people are going to go back to the house after that. So I don't know if I'm staying the night or if I'm coming back. I don't know. Who knows? But Saturday, basically, I'm not going to get to really sew. on anything. So, yeah, busy. It's just been busy, and that is a good thing, but it's also sometimes you need to catch your breath, right? So that's just kind of where I am. I'm in the I need to catch my breath moment. But let me work on this. I will pop in with another update here soon. And oh yeah, I also ordered fabrics. I got some really good deals on the fabrics that I need for the baby quilts, and a couple other things that a couple of things for the neon quilts, and a couple of things I just wanted. And I got some really good deals, so it kind of made it all worth it. Like I budgeted for it, so I cannot wait until those things come in. I'm super excited. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, promise. Next clip. See you in a sec. Okay, it's still Thursday night, March 2nd. I have to say one thing first. Wow. It has been a week, because I am better at math than that. 24 times 4 is 96. I just have to throw that out there. So if you were screaming at me in the previous clip, I get it, and I'm aware. It really has been that kind of a week. I literally, I literally just finished this. It's just coming off the sewing machine. Here is the Acroma shop sample with like a lime green grunge. I absolutely love this. It's 6x6, so it's about, I don't know, I want to say like 40 something. Wait. Yeah, it's around like 42 by 42, something like that. Like it's basically like a baby size, but like it's a nice, like it could be like a lap quilt, really. It's like a large baby size. Hi Stell. So yeah, this will go back to Paige as a shop sample, and very exciting. I can take this to her tomorrow. Hey, come here. Okay, rude. I got to pet her tail. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right, she's hanging out behind the door. Come here. We might get her. Come, yeah. Well, come here. Yeah. Come here. Hello. Hello. How are you? I will say that she has been utilizing the blanket baskets to hang out during the day while I'm working again, because it's even and it's not too high and it's not scary. So she's actually been sleeping in the office again on the blankets, which is so nice because I love her being in here during the day. But anyway, so you can see that secondary pattern. And I will say I did like flip them. So, you know, they go, like black is pointing upward, white, and then it's reverse. So it gives it kind of like some like flow and movement. I am very happy with this, and I cannot wait to do basically the opposite, but with 5 different neon colors. So anyways, what I was saying is this is a very, very easy pattern, which I think I talk about in previous clips. Like I said, I need to edit. But it's a very easy pattern, charm squares, or you can cut them by 6 instead of by 5. And the block finishes at 7.5. And so this is 6x6. So that's why I say it's like in the 40s. of size, like low to mid 40s squared. So yeah, it's a decent size. The one that I made with the 30s prints back in like 2008, 2009 was 7x9. And the neon version that I want to make it 8x10. Just because I want it to be a little bit bigger. This is good that this one is smaller because it's a shop sample, so she doesn't want it to take up too much room. It is a really like decent size, like to lay over like your lap if you're like watching TV, but you aren't going to be able to like pull it up unless you're a kid. Or a really nice oversized baby quilt. So yeah, I love this. And then tomorrow, probably throw in a little clip of the binding on the quilts, unless y'all don't care about that, which I will have already done it by the time you can tell me if you care about that or not. So I don't even know. I don't know. I am tired again. I know that I slept pretty much all afternoon and didn't get hardly anything that I wanted to get done today done. But headaches are a nightmare, and I've also not been sleeping super great for multiple weeks. So I finally got some decent rest, but I am still tired. So there's that. Okay, so plan, like I was saying, edit this, get it up tomorrow, and then hopefully I would like to be able to post the quilt parade Sunday. So that gives me time to edit. I don't think I have a whole lot to edit, but if I do, I'm just going to like skim through it, edit that, get that uploaded and posted. It's probably not going to be until sometime Sunday, at the latest Monday, because like I said, it depends on kind of what happens this weekend. So, yeah, I'll see y'all in the morning. Okay, guys, I have, like I was telling you, I have this all prepped and ready. So I have the labels like super pinned because I had to tuck the edges under for whip stitching, and then I have the bindings all tacked down and ready to go. That's the baby quilt. And then I also have the same going on for the cat quilt. So I usually do the labels first because these little guys like will stab you. So I always start in this corner and then I work my way away from it and then back towards it. So I found my black thread because for a hot minute I couldn't find it, and then I found it, thankfully. And I have some of this bright blue in my stash from my mom. And so I might have to buy a yellow thread to do the label on the back of the baby quilt. Maybe. So I have a yellow, but it's a light yellow. I don't have a bright yellow. So I don't know. I'll either do it in yellow or I'll do it. Come here. Come here. I found this toy in the quilting closet and she's running around with it. All right. Here, go get it. So, or I might try using white just for the label, but I'm going to focus on the cat quilt first. And I finished my UFO art piece. So it is completely done with the binding and it is now completely finished. I need to figure out a way to hang it, display it, which I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I want to kind of find like a contraption that kind of hangs it like a little like sign. So like something with like dowel rods or something, which means I would need to possibly add a sleeve or little like circle rings, but I need to go check out Hobby Lobby and see what I can find as far as displaying it. But regardless, it is finished and I absolutely love him. I didn't put a label on him because he's just a small wall hanging art piece. So if I do anything, I might take like a metallic permanent marker, like silver or something, and put like my name and the date and call it a day. But yeah, so he's done. I am later today going to go take the windmill acroma quilt over to Paige. And yeah, I'm going to do at least about an hour to an hour and a half on the cat quilt tonight, or like right now. And I got all but 3 of the Scrappy Spools blocks cut out. And that's just because they require pieces larger than a mini charm. And I can cut some of them from the larger scraps of 30s prints that I have. And I'm even going to sacrifice some of my actual feed sacks. But I need like 8 to 12 prints and I don't have that many. So, yeah, I'm going to, hey, what are you doing? Did you lose it? Again? I am going to probably purchase 1 to 3 more fat quarters for that. But all of those blocks are in the sew along later in the year, so I'm going to worry about it at a later time. And anyway, so I have all the blocks prepped for sure through April. So at some point I can get that started, which is really nice. And I got to go through a lot of scraps. See, she's not scared of it anymore. It's like a normal, okay height for her to like be hanging out on. All right. This is what you guys signed up for. So anyways, that's really good. Yeah. Focusing on binding for the next couple of days to get these 2 commission quilts done. So I'll get paid for the binding of these 2. I still need to get paid for the commission quilt from the other quilt shop, but it's not done yet. So he hasn't done his final payment, so I can't be paid yet. And, I think I'm getting store credit for the shop sample, so that's exciting. So yeah, I'm starting to see like a light at the end of the tunnel where I can actually start working on some of my stuff and start working on McKenna's skeleton quilt, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will see y'all next week in the next video. Bye, everyone.